Okay, so if we try to bring these two out, and... Hello? You're not supposed to be up here. Well, hello there viewers, and welcome to yet another episode here on the Shamblecraft server. We have reached episode 57, and you join me here at the main island. And the reason I'm at the main island actually connects a bit to something we talked about in the tail end of the last episode. So as you might remember, I mentioned that Newt has set up this community food store, which is actually a collaborative project between Newt, Johnny and several others. But one thing we have figured out is that just having these two double chests sitting here is a bit boring. So what we want to do is build, well, what Newt, Johnny and Jessica have suggested is building up a new location for this community food stock, and we want, or they want rather, to put it right here. This is a nice little central space, might be a bit narrow, but I have offered to do some terraforming if required. So hello, here we actually have Newt joining us, and Jessica is also around here somewhere. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be jumping into a voice chat together, trying to get a plan together for what we want to do, and hopefully then we're going to be doing a nice little community food stock. Well, okay then viewers, I am here now with Jessica and Newt, and Johnny is also right over the horizon there getting some supplies, and we are just about ready to get started on this project. So Newt and Jesse and Johnny, the three of you are the masterminds behind this. So what are we building here?
So I put a few chests of golden carrots over here.
Yep.
That are free for the server. Kind of just tacked them on and feels bad, man. So we went and designed a small little building to fit over there to house these carrots and look a little more in line with the local aesthetic.
All right, so about 50% cult and 50% birch.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Right. Well, that sounds it sounds like a plan.
So can't be angering the HOA, you know?
Yeah. So I understand that you have a schematic pretty much ready for it.
I believe Jess does.
Okay.
Yes, I could distribute that to you guys so you can see what's going on.
All right. So my question really is, do you want me to help out with the building, or there was some talks about maybe extending this peninsula a bit? So it's like, do you want me to do some terraforming, or do you want me to help with the build?
Terraforming would help, as it's a kind of a small build, so having too many people in the area would probably be us stepping over each other.
Okay, well, what I'll do then, I'll hop down into the community storage and get some grass and some dirt, and I can try and extend this peninsula a bit. And maybe we can probably get rid of this chest of community mob farm mats, since that farm was finished more than a year ago. And we can probably extend the peninsula a bit. Maybe, I mean, we have this little thing here that could probably go away too, because it doesn't look like it's serving any function. So what we could do is just basically from about here, basically start about here and then make it look natural all the way out there. See, Jesse is giving me the old telescope there.
Looks good to me.
All right. Okay then. Well, I think we have a plan, so yeah, let's go.
Awesome.
Well, okay then, viewers, that is pretty much it. It went surprisingly swiftly. We now have the building up and running, and we've done some terraforming to make the area around it slightly wider and slightly cozier. So yeah, thank you very, very much, Newt, Johnny and Jesse, for building up this thing. Thank you very much, Elvin, Mick and Badger for keeping us company and voice while we were doing it. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So just for the people watching this who haven't seen this before, so this is basically community service provided by Newt and Johnny, and it's pretty simple. You go in here, you see all the barrels here. You can take one shulker box of golden carrots. Since we are a bunch of people, as you can see on the tab list here, we have had a big influx of members recently. Make sure that you only grab one shulker box so that there's plenty for others. And also Newt had this really cool idea. Right here is a lectern with a book on it where you are invited to leave a memory. So when you pick up your shulker box of golden carrots, make sure you write down a little memory from your time on the server. So I put mine down. I'm gonna read it out for you. I was streaming my hunt for ancient debris when basically everyone else gathered in the pub voice, followed me around secretly, and then tried to blow me up with using beds. Fun times. And for those of you who haven't seen the clip, I'll actually include it at the end of this episode as a post-credits thing. Or I've just edited it in right now. Who knows? Future Fally is going to figure it out. But thank you very much, Newt, Johnny, Jesse, and everyone else for helping out with this project. It turned out awesome. And we now have a very nice source of food for the community. But with that taken care of, we are going to move on to other projects. Well, okay then, viewers, you join me here in front of the Redstone Express, where the sale is now ended. And we ended up making a fairly sizable profit. I mean, I have now, of course, collected it all, so we can't really see exactly how much it was, but what I can tell is it was about 3 stacks of diamonds, including some of these boxes being sold. But that was not the reason I started this recording. You see, as you might remember, in the last episode, we closed down our terraforming shop and we gave Rain the keys to the castle, and Rain has not been messing around. This is absolutely gorgeous. And yes, I could have flown up, but I want the full experience. So this is renovation coming, Rain's terraforming. So you can see that Rain has kept the chests, the anvil, and other stuff from the shop. But what she's done is that she has built this wonderful floating island where the terraforming shop used to stand. And yeah, that is amazing looking. So I mean, yeah, look at that. I am absolutely 100% looking at that sure that I picked the perfect successor for Fallicorp Terraforming. So good luck, Rain, with your terraforming business. Just wanted to show that off. Lots of other new shops here on the nether roof, actually. We have here Red Pickles, like and subscribe. And we have over here, we have, I think this is Mickness, who has set up a sponge rental shop. And there's another, rocket shop over there. So, I mean, the nether shopping district is starting to get really, really crowded, which is awesome. Because we had a wild wolfie there zooming out of this shop. Yeah, it's really, really starting to look good. I think the nether shopping district has really turned out quite well. But yeah, I just wanted to show off what Rain had done to the place. And Rain, you've done an absolutely amazing job. I can't wait to see what your terraforming business ends up doing. But with that, let us move on to the projects we're actually supposed to be doing in this episode. Well, viewers, with that taken care of, we are moving on to other pressing matters. You see, over here at our Guardian farm, or well, Guardian Temple base thing, we should really settle on a name for this place. Anyway, over here, we have been working a lot underground, but we have yet to do anything up top. So I have been doing some tinkering off camera on a single player world because I was without internet and couldn't use Plot World, and I think I have come up with a design for a new building up here that could look pretty cool, and I've settled for using this palette here, so sea lanterns, cyan glass, cyan concrete, and the two Guardian temple blocks that we have from down here, so sort of make it look kind of like this build, but at the same time give it something unique. But I'm thinking that is what we're going to do next, and once we have done that, there are some other small projects around this place that we need to tend to, so that we can actually start using this place as, well, a home away from home. But yeah, let's get cracking on tearing down this old one and building up the new topside building. Well, okay then, it is indeed a start, and honestly, so far, I am pretty happy with it. So there's still a bunch of work left here. I had to stop because I am simply out of playtime right now, but I will be returning to this project later in the day. But I figured instead of just splicing the two time lapses together, why don't we take a little break here and I can tell you what I've been doing and what the idea is. So as you saw in that time lapse, I had sort of two ideas. One of them was to just replace the old building, and as you could probably tell from the time lapse, I was not happy with how that looked with this block palette. So what I ended up doing was going with plan B, which was to build a lighthouse, and it's a bit square shaped, but I've tried to round it off. I haven't done the detailing yet. There's going to be a lot more dark prismarine going on it, sort of to do the detailing, but a lot of it is in. So for instance, the water elevator, if we go into that, actually takes us all the way to the top floor, and as you can see, two pigs have decided to join me up here. So this will provide a fairly nice overview of the area. This should actually be, if I haven't messed up my calculations, this should actually be a functionable AFK spot for these farms, other than being down there, of course. Haven't really landed 100% what I want to do around here. I mean, you can sort of see the foundation of the old building there. That is going to be torn away. But I haven't really decided what to do with the rest of this island. What I was thinking was maybe we can make it look a bit ruined. That's one thing I would actually love to see. I would love Mojang to add the ability to make mossy, well, everything. Like, imagine this lighthouse here. I'm going to take flight here. Imagine this lighthouse, but with mossy prismarine. Like, being able to have, like, vines and stuff climbing up from below, making it look like this is a lighthouse that's been abandoned for a while. So that's actually something I'd love to see. The ability to use, for instance, the moss block to make mossy prismarine and mossy prismarine bricks, etc. And also, I'd love to get more prismarine brick designs, because I hate the fact that this is just pointing one way. I really, really hate it. I would love to see a prismarine, like polished prismarine brick, something like that. That would be really, really cool to sort of add more flavour. But yeah, that is the way it is right now. So some detail remains. I'm going to get back to doing that later. Let's see if we can do that without dying, and we did. So this water elevator will actually take us all the way up. But if we shift, we can get off at this floor. So I actually have an idea on how to make this elevator work for, you know, going down as well. Gonna hopefully show you that in the next clip. But yeah, that is some progress on the lighthouse. You can see that as night falls, it is fairly okay lit up. It's lit up enough that we won't have spawns. But this island down here is, of course, still not perfectly safe. Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to place some torches here, because we've had a bunch of stuff spawn at night, and I nearly died earlier taking care of it. So yeah, that is the lighthouse as it stands. Quite happy with how it looks so far. The detailing remains, but hopefully the next time you see this, it should be pretty much close to finished. Well, viewers, a couple of hours of work has passed, and while the plan was, of course, to have a time-lapse of the entire thing, apparently my laptop doesn't have replay mode. Oops. So anyway, I have been tinkering away on the laptop for a couple of hours, and I am now quite happy with how this has turned out. So as you can see, we have done a bunch of detailing, a bunch of dark prismarine has come in, we have changed up the glass. I ended up changing the glass blocks for glass panes because it added a bunch of depth, especially when we added the stairs. We've done some tinkering here and there to make it look cooler, and also we have changed the ground a bit. So I basically went to my base and I used all the warped the nether wart that I had in order to make this little effector, because as you might remember from the last clip, I said it was a shame that we couldn't do the sort of mossy thing to make it look more worn, and I started thinking, well, what if we flip that around and do it the other way, so that the almost like the power of the lighthouse is tearing into the ground. And so we have these like almost like tendrils of the warped wart that is now sort of eating into the island here, and I used pretty much all the wart I had, and I also had to go and buy some, but it ended up looking pretty good. Also added it sort of to the ground here as a mix, and we've also done what is quickly becoming one of my favourite blocks and favourite things to do. We've used the moss blocks to make it look a bit overgrown. So now we have a nice little like warped pier where the boats would probably dock back in the day, and then we have this little sort of broken stair, and then we have our doors taking us in here to the lighthouse, and then we can go into the water elevator, and boink, we are up here with the two pigs and the sheep who have decided to go on an adventure. And with that, I feel like this little lighthouse and this island in general is now looking a lot better. I have to say, viewers, if you were wondering why I kept falling in that time lapse, it's because my keyboard is broken. So the control key works sometimes. You can see that sort of sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I have an order in for a new keyboard, but it hasn't gotten here yet, so I might have to just get another keyboard to use as a backup, because it is starting to get dangerous. But anyway, that is now a much, much cooler entrance point to the Guardian area. And I mean, if we hop into spectator mode and sort of fly back here a bit, you can see that this is now looking very, very good. And we actually have a spy. Hello, Wolfie. Wolfie is currently spying on us in spectator mode. Because of the way the camera is shifting, it looks like Wolfie has a beard made out of kelp. But anyway, that is the Lighthouse build, and I am actually very, very happy with that. What we're actually going to do, we're going to get a screenshot right there. I love the fact that there's pigs standing on top of it. And that is pretty much the island done. All we need to do now is we need to do a little bit of tidying. We need to take these chests here and get sorted, bring them up, put them over in shulker boxes and bring them to our storage system. And also we need to remove the shulker boxes and everything behind here. And on this side we also need to add some moss and do some decorating to make it look uniform. But that is just a couple of minutes work left, so I'm going to do some very quick tidying, and hopefully the next time you see me, this place will be 100% done. Okay then, we have gathered up all of the supplies. They are now in this barrage of shulker boxes that you can see here. And all that remains now is to bring this back to our base and feed it into our storage system. And we should be getting close. And while we're at the base, we've been talking on and off about, like, Fally, what are you going to do to your main base? And honestly, I still don't know. It's like I said, that I really like this base, but at the same time, I feel like I really messed up the design. Like, there's so much dead space, and I just sort of can't get fully on board with everything that's going on here. Like, the base feels very... I don't know. There's just something that irks me about this base, and I can't really put my finger on it. There were some people saying that, oh, I'm sure Fally just doesn't like it anymore because they messed it up and changed the colour of it. Like, no, that is just, I just think that was funny as heck. There's still people DMing me saying, that, oh, how did you not get super mad that they changed the colour of your base? And it's because I thought it was hilarious. And yeah, I still think the base looks really, really good, even in this colour, and it's just something about the way it's sort of designed. So I might have to sort of consider if I want to actually do some changes. Maybe I can try to build in some extra rooms. Maybe we can try and take advantage of the area a bit better, because right now it's sort of, the problem I have with this base is that there's so much, like this for instance, there's this entire area here that I don't really know what to do with. And I feel like the problem is that when I built this base, I built it too big to begin with. Like, it's very spacious and it's very nice. Like, it looks great. I'm still very, very happy with how this base looks, but it's like, I genuinely don't know what to do with this base. So we're going to have to come back to this and figure out what do we want to do. Like, do we want to keep this base? Do we want to use this base for something else? I mean, the thing is, we already have this, I mean, very, very well-functioning storage system down here that I'm still very, very happy with, this entire storage system down here. But it doesn't change the fact that the rest of the base is a bit of a question mark. I don't really know what to do with it, because we have this pretty good storage system here, and you can see it's cataloging our items very good. This is collecting lemons, of course, alongside gravel, But yeah, I just feel like I can't really put my finger on what it is I want to do with this place. So that is the main reason we haven't really been to this base a lot in the last pretty much 10-15 episodes, is because I genuinely don't know what to do with this base. I feel like making this base the size I did, I messed it up. Like, I should have made this base half the size, because honestly, if we compare this base to the original design I built on Plot World, the design on Plot World was actually half the size. The reason this base ended up being this big is because I tried to make it fit into the mountainside, because the cliffside was far bigger than the thing I anticipated on Plot World. So yeah, it is a tricky thing. What do we want to do with this place? I feel like I can't just abandon it, but at the same time I'm really struggling in terms of what to do with it. So we might have to we'll have to get back to that and figure out what do we want to do with this base, because it's too silly to just have this base and, you know, this entire village project here just sitting here and not really knowing what to do with it. But I'm thinking once we sort of finish the things we want to do over at the Guardian Temple, I'm thinking that next priority has to be, let's figure out what we want to do with this place, try and finish it up and take it from there. But with that is where we are going to call it a day. So we have a lot of work done. We finally got some other projects taken care of, not just terraforming. And hopefully within the next couple of episodes, we can try to get our various builds up to speed, because I have a lot of ideas and improvements that I want to try. And hopefully we can also get this place here looking pretty good. But until then, thank you very, very much once again for watching this episode. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye!